Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update. So we have seen a very nice move from Bitcoin today. We have seen a little bit of a sell-off so far, but it only seems like a three-wave move. So it could still just be a corrective move before we can possibly head higher. Now, I was warning, if you've seen any of our posts on Twitter and any of our recent videos since we've had this rally, is we were forming a bearish divergence on the 1 hour chart, and I was warning, hey, it wouldn't be surprising to see if we get some sort of drop, and it seems like that is exactly what we got. Now, depending on whether this whole rally is just more of a just fake out and we will be heading lower, or if this is just a corrective downside and we will still be heading higher, well, that is still in the focus of what could be playing out, and we could always just be in this larger trend. We broke above this swing high here, so I got rid of this swing high and just added the next one here for our next target to the upside. So we very well could just still be in a larger range here, but with this break of a swing high, it becomes a little bit more just probability wise, it just adds more weight now to this white scenario, now that we have seen this explosive movement, and it seems like it came off a ceasefire, or like a possible ceasefire with Iran, but I guess Iran rejected it, and so another taco tweet, sorry, by Donald Trump. So that was pretty interesting, but we'll kind of have to wait and see. There is a CME gap at this 67,000 range, so we'll see if we just form, whether this was, say, impulse three-wave move, because I mean, overall this is only a three-wave move. If we got another high in a three-wave move, well, then that could possibly be a three. This could overall just be a that could still be a three-wave move technically, but if we form a three-wave move and another five-wave move up, well, then that would overall complete a larger first wave, in which we could get a larger second wave, which could take us basically around back to this original price region. Doesn't have to, but it very well could. And yeah, so we'll kind of just have to wait and see for how that plays out. Our first indication that this orange scenario is playing out is, one, we would need a break below this swing low here, which is around 66,500 or 66,400, about 66,600, more or less around this area here. And once we have that, that could be our first indication of the orange scenario, and all of this is still just a larger 1-2 setup, because technically, even though we did break above a swing high and we broke through that micro resistance, we still haven't broke above this invalidation point here at 72,000. So as long as we remain below that, well, it becomes more and more, it just adds, well, it just keeps it the base scenario of another low, whether it's a larger third wave sell-off or it's just a extended B wave, where maybe we can go lower than this region over here and just form one more low before we can try again for another rally to the top. But that we'll kind of have to wait and see for how that plays out. So we kind of have our levels that we need to watch out for, and so far only a three-wave move up. So if we get another high, or I guess we would need two more highs, or this could also be all of a third wave too. That's very possible, but that was a very short third wave if that were to be the case. Now we'll have to wait and see how this sell-off goes. We head over to the RSI. We'll kind of just have to wait and see. Will this be a sustained sell-off, or will it just kind of remain here? We could still get one more low. This could be an A, B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move down. That could very well be a larger three-wave move, so that remains valid as well if we do get another low. I'd say once we get a overall 1, 2, 3, and then after this another low here. If we do form a corrective rally and we fall again and we break below the swing low, well, that would be a 5-wave move down and also a break above our swing low. So that could just invalidate this entire pump, and we could very well go back to this bottom range over here, and this could create a larger bear flag, I guess you could say, or new trend lines, because if we're kind of doing it based off of this, let's see where that would have to line up with. If we were to be doing trend lines, then it very well could be something like this, and we very well could be in a trend line. So watch out for that CME gap at 67,000. I mean, whether these are real trend lines or not, just something to watch out for. And we very well could just still be in this larger range. So until we break below 65,000 or 72,000, it really just remains range movement. No 5-wave move up and just choppy sideways up and down. So let's wait and see how this sell-off goes. And yeah, I mean, we'll just kind of have to wait for setups to come. So far, there isn't really any real setup here. It's just sideways movement really since the start of February. So we'll head over to liquidity, and then we should be pretty good for this video. So yeah, liquidity zone back at 68,000. Once we had that little price pump up, we have had longs start to pile up and again, and obviously shorts building up as well. 7-day, we have these obviously more longs and shorts. This zone back here at 67, 68,000. It would make sense if we do go back to close the CME gap here liquidity wise, and then also this larger zone back here would still be at risk, which is what we were talking about before we had this rally as well. But on the 30-day, it clearly shows more shorts than longs. So very well, we could have short-term downside pressure if that sell-off continues. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, if we hold support, I mean, it's only a 3-wave move down so far, so we could get 1 or 2 more lows and that could still be a 3-wave move. Otherwise, yeah, price is still chopping. So my prediction over the next 24 hours, if we go over to the heat map, and yeah, so we had this larger zone down here, which we came down to liquidate. And now if we were to take that off a little bit, we still just have these larger zones below it as well with lower liquidity. So if we head over to the 1 week, yeah, it's kind of the same story. We just have that upper range too, and then mostly that bottom range. And short term, let's see. Yeah, we still have this lower range down here at 67, 68,000, but obviously building above here at 70,000. So we really have 2 zones to look out for till the next update. Otherwise, it could just chop around. We either can head down here to close the CME gap, liquidate any late longs, and then possibly bounce off of this trend line here. Maybe we go a little bit low to close the gap, and then we can bounce back up and possibly come back to liquidate longs. Otherwise, if we kind of hold support here and buyers, if we want to keep going up, we need buyers to get interested and push the price up. Otherwise, yeah, the pressure remains down with the sell-off. But obviously, at any point, once buyers step in, we very well could turn around even right here and possibly test this upper boundary line here, and then a possible test of this swing higher at 72,000. So right in the middle of everything as always. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.